Good afternoon, people.
What's everybody doing?
Perry.
I don't want to be here.
That's all right. Is that an existential response, or is that just
All of the above, Tom? Whatever you want.
Yeah. Hey, Knoppert, welcome, man. Octopus Movement. I'm like,
thanks, Matt.
Super psyched to talk to you. I love your story. As some people might not know, I actually took the plunge and did the founding member thing because I just think your thing is super cool and like love it. So psyched to get into it. But and I guess that's the bridge, right? Like, how did Octopus come to be? Like, what the hell happened that you decided
what the hell happened?
Yeah, what the hell happened that made this happen?
And sometimes I'm like, oh, this happened, and I'm thinking, but most of the time I'm thinking, what the hell did happen?
Yeah, totally.
I have no idea.
It's funny how that works, though, isn't it? Like sometimes you're like, oh, I find myself in this great situation, but you're like, then you look back and you're like, well, if I hadn't gone pee at that exact moment, I wouldn't have bumped into this person in the restroom, and then I would, like you're just you walk it backwards. You're like,
that's a Talking Heads song, right?
Yeah.
Letting the days go by.
Yeah, right. You're just like, yeah.
It started with a lot of negative shit, basically. So the end of a very, very cool relationship, awesome, but it ended anyway. A landlord that got pissed off with me and all of a sudden was, like, no, it works like this, and you're trapped in this contract, and we cannot talk about it. There's not an option. And then the weird decision to say, you know what? You can all have it. This is all yours now. I'm leaving. And that was the big decision. I wanted to discover what it means, what it feels like to disconnect from everything. And that sounds very woo-woo now, like, oh dear, here we go, right? But it was just a stupid thing to do that, because I have 3 kids, single dad with 3 kids, ex-wife, and I decided, you know what, you can all have it. I'm out of here. I don't want to play this game anymore. And it's really not that beautiful. It sounds maybe now very cool, but it's not cool at all. And my ex-wife was looking at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
She really wanted to kill me, and I can't blame her.
Really glad I got out of this relationship. This is a fucking idiot.
It's like, you see, he's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Dodged a bullet there, man. Oh, whew.
So weird.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and giving away everything is easy. That's really one day. So it takes God knows how long to build up something. And if you want to get rid of everything, it takes you a day, half a day. And there I was picked up by a friend, just with a bag, with my dog. Okay, let's go to the Netherlands. Let's go back to the country I'm original from, and let's see what happens there.
Where
I was
were
in
you
Belgium
at when that happened?
I was in Belgium.
You're in Belgium. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I was in Belgium. 7 months, homelessness, horrible, but at the same time fascinating as well. And every time I was in line with the government and trying to get help and recreate everything again, I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to be fine. I know that. I'm okay. But then I was meeting these other people that were standing in line. I was thinking, you're not okay. You're trapped here, and there's so many difficult rules, so many ridiculous rules. I was trying to get an address, so at least I had an address in the Netherlands, so I can get insured. So you have to go to the government and say, I'm homeless, but I want an address. Can I have an address with you, government? And then they say, do you have a job?
Holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then
is it like a post office box like we have here? Okay.
So it's a post office box with the government, with a whole set of rules. So they said, do you have a job? I said, no, that's also why I'm homeless. Then you can't have a postal address. I said, but if I don't have a postal address, I'm not registered. If I'm not registered, I can have a job.
Sure.
I'm in La La Land. The movie with Tom Hanks in the airport, where his country got fucked
and he can't
his
leave.
passport, right? That's how I felt. Like, but this is weird. I want to work. I want to rebuild everything, restart, but I couldn't because it wasn't possible. The linear system failed. I'm like, okay, And I decided not to blame the system. I was just thinking, I need to do something. This is ridiculous, you know. And so there I was in La La Land, and I survived the 7 months. I survived not having anything, and I stayed at campgrounds, at friends, and I took care of myself. I couldn't see the kids, which was really horrible because I was super close with the kids. And after 7 months, I thought, okay, I survived this. I'm gonna do something that I really like to do, because if I can survive this, which is impossible almost, then I can do whatever the flip I want to do, right? Because I have nothing to lose. And that's where I thought I want to create a nonprofit globally where, you know, we celebrate a little bit the weirdness of human beings, because that's not being celebrated at all. You know, yes, when you've succeeded, when you have linear results, then you can be as crazy as you want, and then everybody loves it. But if you're not there, then nobody enjoys weirdness. You need to fit in that box. And I thought we're missing out on an opportunity if we don't do something with that.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing.
There was a lot of mushrooms in this campground, because Perry like goes from like, I'm homeless to let's start a global nonprofit. Like, it's a pretty big jump, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm laughing with you.
I
but
get
that's
it.
a big jump, man, right?
You know,
like,
that fear of almost death, that fear
Yeah.
of almost death, that like, look, this didn't kill me, so what am I holding back for? I kind of dig that. I'm not wishing that for myself, Perry. I mean, no attack there, but it is a like a testimony to the human condition, right? And it does seem
the human
crazy.
Intelligence is so cool.
Yeah,
you know, it's amazing. And I was like, okay, let's do this. I don't need an income. I have nothing to lose, so I'm free as a bird. And give me a laptop and internet connection, and I will do it. So I did everything myself, and I have sometimes a little bit too much energy, so I kept going. It's like 7 days a week, 11 days an hour. The first year of the Octopus Movement, I think I had 27,000 minutes of Zoom meetings, you know, the first year. I was reaching out to everyone, like, listen, I have a story. This is so cool. We need to do something. And I'm like, this dude is crazy, you know? And, but the thing I've learned in the homelessness was nothing changes. This is the big thing. So looking at health, nothing changes. So I was homeless. I was thinking the same things. I was feeling the same feelings. I saw the sunrise the same way as always did. You know, I could enjoy a sandwich with peanut butter the same way I always do. So here, in this universe of me, nothing changed. Everything changed outside of me. So people didn't want to see me. People didn't want to talk to me. At the government, like, okay, you need to come at 6:30 in the morning, and you have a window of a half an hour, and before 7, all the homeless people need to leave again, so nobody can see them. Seriously. Friends and family, Perry, fuck off, right? But that's the outside world. I was thinking, this is so weird, because I'm the same person. Nothing changed for me. I just don't have a house. That's all. And everything changed. And understanding that gave me the motivation and the energy to do something maybe a bit impossible, because I wasn't listening to that outside world anymore. Right? Yeah. Because they were very judgmental to me. And I was thinking, well, they have been always judgmental to me my entire life. I'm a weird fruitcake. So, yes, there's always been opinions and thoughts. And like, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore. I would just do my thing. And then people were meeting me in the beginning and like, okay, you're creating the Octopus Movement. What does that mean? And I would say, I don't know. I have no idea. And like, dude, you cannot start something when you have no idea. You're going to fail. And like, yeah, nice meeting you too. Have a nice day. It was crazy. And, you know, people are so biased. People have their ideas immediately. Their thinking is so present. And I thought, yeah, that same thinking was very present when I was homeless and they didn't want to talk to me. So let me just do my thing, and I'm not going to listen to anyone.
But that takes a Herculean willpower to go through that urge to be like, oh, this outside, because like, look, we get input from the outside world all the time, right? We're getting input from the outside world in this conversation, right? Like this is like, it's very hard to like override that, I would think. No, like to willfully say,
Yeah, I gotta
don't care.
say, you're saying that, and I can think of, oh God, I let my parents down. Oh God, I let,
Right.
all of those, like everybody, like, fuck, I failed a marriage. Oh yeah, and those internal dialogues that I would have based off of what I think other people might perceive the situation as. It's a very, very weird space.
It is space, Tom, and I think it created more space to do the opposite. So if I don't have to worry what people are saying anymore, I was able to connect more. And that sounds a bit weird, but I do care what people think. I do care what people's opinions are, but I just don't let it control what I'm thinking and what I'm doing. And because I wasn't busy with that anymore, I was able to really connect and really read and listen to people and say, we need to do something. Something needs to be done here, and I don't know what it is, but let's just figure it out. So the connection got even stronger. I think I got even closer to listening to people, what they were really saying and feeling than before. So it sounds like I got into a narcissistic episode of it's all about me and I don't listen to people anymore, but it was the opposite. But there was this element of your opinion is irrelevant, but who you are is more than relevant. It's a bit like that. I've never thought about it this way.
We have the luxury of having this conversation when you are on the other side of this. Like, would it be possible to set yourself in the mindset back then and say, like, what caused that sort of schism in the first place? Like, I mean, you said bad landlord, bad ex-wife. That happens to people all the time. Like, I feel like,
yeah. What was the trigger for you? What was this magic moment where you were just like, fuck it?
I'm not Eckhart Tolle that
exactly.
It's on the bench.
We talked about
right, and he wrote about who am I? I'm not feeling well. Who is I, and who is I am? And I had one experience that I was somewhere, and all of a sudden I said up loud, "I get it now." And someone said to me, what is it? What do you get? And I said, I don't know. I say I don't know a lot, by the way. But I like, I don't know, but there's a feeling of I got it now. But there is not I wish I could answer this more beautifully.
Yeah. You wish you had a little Eckhart in you, a little.
Yeah. Something beautiful that like, oh, that's inspiring. I have no clue what the flip happened. Maybe it will take another 10 years to really understand.
Process.
Or maybe it doesn't matter at all. I mean, or maybe it just doesn't matter at all.
How weird is it?
I don't know. Is it something that you just can't get into vocabulary? I mean, a feeling is just as valid as a thought, I guess,
Well, I think it's close to curiosity. I think it started with curiosity and a lack of fear. So I remember doing a TV show in China, and I was talking to an American producer, and he invited someone to come to Beijing to interview me from his production company. And he said, "Oh, Harry is fearless, so it's going to work with this TV show." So there is a combination of fearlessness and curiosity, and the curiosity won when the landlord was pissed off with me, and I saw everything was going to shit. That I thought, how would it be to get away of everything? So maybe it started with curiosity. Maybe that's my Eckhart Tolle story.
That was such a fucking jump there, Perry. From like, hey, I was homeless and then I figured out this Octopus Movement thing. And also, I was talking to a producer in China about a TV show. It was like, I see how it worked for you. Let's just say that, because it seems like there doesn't have to be, and I know we talk about nonlinear thinking with the Octopus Movement, but it seems like that is your raison de, what do we call that in French?
Raison d'etre.
D'etre.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, it is almost suiting that is how this comes to be, because, I think, and Tom and I are both members of this group. So like, I think we can say this reasonably confidently. I mean, the group is amazing, but it is very nonlinear in nature. Like, the people are very nonlinear in nature. The conversations are very nonlinear in nature. So it almost makes sense that this is how it became. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it would be weird if it came out of a spreadsheet and an Excel chart.
Well, even the term organic sounds a little overused in this case, but it really does feel like that, right? And you talk about the human mycelium, and there's an intelligence to it, but even I think the mycelium doesn't even know.
No, yeah. But this is what I'm maybe most proud of, to let go in a way. And the human mycelium is something that works very well in the Octopus Movement. People are connecting with each other, and I'm not doing anything. So I'm not organizing connections. People are connecting, and then I get another picture of two octopi meeting, and from one part of the country to the other part, and visiting each other, and it's not organized. And maybe that's the thing that I'm most proud of, because then it's organic. But organic is such a empty word in a way.
Yeah, it is overused.
It's overused, and it's based on chaos. It is nonlinear thinking. For people that are listening, thinking nonlinear thinking, gee, Perry, what is that? Well, it's nothing. Nonlinear thinking is the space between thoughts.
Sure.
For me, nonlinear thinking is the empty space between thoughts, where human wisdom and intelligence lies, creativity. We fucked up our brains, in my opinion. We're so conditioned, we're so trained in how we have to think. It's so binary in a way.
Yeah.
So, of course, AI and human intelligence they're very close to each other now, because our way of thinking changed as well.
Sure.
And got more binary. And these things come together, and we're so trapped in the linear thinking, which I'm not against. This is also, people start, when I talk, people start thinking. They start thinking what they're going to say. Do I agree with this weird dude with his accent or not? Don't do it. Just listen, and don't think, and don't think about what you're going to say, or don't think about I agree with this weirdo or not. Just let it go. And we're not able to do that anymore. And I think within the Octopus Movement, with close to 10,000 members now in 124 countries. Sorry, I'm proud of numbers.
It's crazy.
But we have a whole group of, neurodivergent, weird, different kind of people, and it all works together, and it works well. And on the other side, I understand why the corporate world creates a linear system. Trust me, I get it. To organize something, you need to be boxed. You do this, you do that, we combine that. Of course that works. But maybe I see it as a kind of an art form, where I love to create some kind of chaos and see what comes out of it. And what comes out of it is something you don't have to convince. So this is one of the things that I learned being homeless, and you think back of your life, and shit, did I fuck up? And, and I was also thinking, every time I had to convince someone, the end result was negative, always. And I don't want to do that anymore. I can be very passionate about what I do, and I love talking about how awesome it is to talk with other octopi and discover the creative brilliance of so many people. But I'm not saying you have to come to the Octopus Movement because that will bring you this and this and this. I don't want to convince people. I just want it to flow in a chaotic way.
Sure.
And then I think the result is, this is to please Tom, is very wu-wei. For me, it needs to be wu-wei. It needs to be It needs to be effortless effort to create something beautiful.
So Perry, when we joined, was I supposed to get like a tattoo so other members?
Is there like
was there a ring we're supposed to wear?
One?
That's funny.
Hey, Matt, we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Be lucky after this in Hamden.
You know, Perry, one of the things that immediately drew me to this group was your and my initial conversation. And I we don't need to get into specifics because it really wasn't about the specifics. But one thing that I've struggled with my whole life, but I didn't realize I was struggling with it, was articulation, like vocabulary for things, right? Because in my brain, I've been very nonlinear since I was alive, right? Everything I've done, and my brain just simply does not work in that. However, in my mind, that is lineality. Like that is linear, right? Then when I describe the path I got to someplace to somebody who is by outward definition linear, they're like, what the fuck did you just say? So over the years, and this is where I'm totally agreeing with you and empathizing with when you said we've broken our brains. Your brain gets broken when like 30, 50, 100 times you have that conversation. You're like, shit, I'm just putting one foot in front of the other and I get good results. But every single person without question is confused by my path.
I love that. I mean, the whole, how the hell did you get there? And you're like, yeah, I did this and then I did that. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. But
it's all right. I got there.
But when I met Perry, right, we have a vocabulary now. We can say, okay, nonlinear is also a different kind of linear, right? Like, it is kind of linear because it's still steps, right? Like, and when you trace back steps, it's a line, right? Like, even if steps are wildly, like I jumped a mile over to this lily pad and came back over here, it's still like a progression. And like, that's still in my mind linear, but not defined by standard things. And now when I talk to people in the group and I hear their versions of that, I'm like, oh, so like this is a thing. And I don't even have to explain this to these people because they get it. Like they just,
the last part is the most important part, I think. And even with someone who has no idea, when you explain, this is a linear path, this is a nonlinear path, you don't have to explain anything to anyone.
No.
Everybody gets that in a way, which is absolutely awesome. Even when they look at nonlinear as the opposite of linear, which is not. But if that's what it is, then it's fine. That's too linear to say it that way. But when I listen to Matt, I can feel the frustration I used to have as well, that there is, in your brain is so much going on. You can connect so many dots. It's going so fast. And when you want to say something, it is not in line with what you're thinking. And then you're talking to someone who doesn't have that energy flow of thinking, and they just say, I don't understand what you're saying. And you're like, but I'm trying so hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard to explain this to you. And it's not because it's rocket science. It's not because it's so difficult, but it's just, it is difficult to explain.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I think that is like a frustration for both sides, right? Like I can't get how your brain is working like that. And for the person that's describing it, it's almost like, well, that almost seems logical to me.
Yeah.
And then it's a force multiplier having the show because Tom and I's nonlinear proclivities coupled with infinite amounts of discussion about oftentimes highly esoteric topics.
Yeah.
When Tom and I talk to our other partner, Dave, about things, we can jump wildly in one direction or another. And Tom and I don't need to explain this to each other because we see the Venn diagram in our head. We're like, all right, this makes sense. This makes sense. I was on a guys' weekend a couple weekends ago, and we were talking about Dr. Jeff, who was the doctor for the telepathy tapes. There was like a record scratch moment when I was like,
when you brought up ESP.
There was a legit, like everybody's like 10 guys all looked at me like, why did we invite him again? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, and in my mind, I caught myself. I looked at the blank stares and I caught myself. I was like, did I go over a line? And then I'm like, I just kind of justified remote viewing, and and they're like,
scary shit. Like,
but most
we
people
love the
don't even
chicken
go
soup.
down that hole.
No.
I mean, that's the problem. And I think even like Chinese medicine, going through my master's degree, to watch people break. Right? What do you mean A plus B doesn't equal C?
Yeah.
What do you mean I can start anywhere and get to the end?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's a nice sentence as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to start there.
Yeah.
Why? Look, this isn't golf. That's not where you put the tee.
No. You don't have to tee
I'm
off
going to
at
come
this
at
point.
it from over here. That seems better for me. And you would watch people break. And even to the point where, I remember one of my best friends was assisting me in class, and she could have taught, she just didn't want to. But all the students would come in and they go, "Oh, I can't remember anything. I must have phlegm misting the mind." And sure enough, we'd be like, "What did they talk to you about in the last class?" Phlegm misting the mind. That's one symptom. You can't think straight. That is not necessarily phlegm misting the mind. You're not giving yourself to this. But when they did, we watched everything from like, fuck it, I gotta leave my spouse, to like, oh shit, I am now joining a cult. It was all of that. It was so opening to watch other people break, because you're like, okay, cool, I'm not crazy. This is happening to all of us.
Next time, Tom, when I'm on the golf course, I will go to the putting green immediately, drop the ball, put it in, and say "fuck you."
Yeah, that's
and
it.
I will think. And I will think
put me
of
down
you,
for one.
right? Yeah,
put me down for one.
That's a birdie, guys.
That's a hole in one.
Yeah, that is funny. No, it is a hard. I mean, it is hard, and then you talk about where we're evolving to as a species, and I think this is a great kind of bridge into the next thing. But I think the other thing about Octopus that I like is that, as we get AI and, technology and this, that, and the other, getting back to finding a way to connect with other human beings is becoming more of a novelty.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate to say it like that or reduce it down to that, but like in a world where everyone's death scrolling TikTok all day, going out and having a drink with somebody or playing Frisbee with somebody on a lawn is novel. Like, it's just not, and that's...
Dude, so I still get weirded out when people want to hang out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're right. But then I got to leave this small little room that I'm in where everything's controlled.
Right. Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a swing back to that. When we have...
It's not going to be. It's like we're in motion on
now.
it.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, you see that a lot, that we're looking for possibilities to hang out with each other and do something meaningful in real life, not on Zoom, not everything on Zoom anymore. Also, but this is what I do in my house. Every month we have an Octotable, and I invite people of the Octopus Movement to come to my place, and we cook together, and they bring ingredients. So this is so cool. This is not organized, as always. So people come in, they have a bag of ingredients, and I don't know exactly who's coming. Nobody knows what someone is bringing, and they all go into my kitchen and start cooking, and in the end, the table is set. There's a lot of lovely food, and we're having the time of our lives. It is a lot of fun. We're talking, we're cooking together, we're hanging out, there's music, and the whole evening is the best evening ever. And we don't know each other. We're not friends. And we discover it's amazing. And I think that's happening more and more and more and more.
Well, and that's brings up another interesting point. I mean, I've noticed the difference between people that welcome those kinds of experiences and people that don't. And it all comes down to just basically allowing that to happen, right? Like I met a woman, I went to a football game last year, some random woman and her boyfriend sat next to me, and the group I was with, I'm the dividing line, right? The group I'm with is on my right, they're on the left. And she and I spent the first half of the football game just chatting, and I end up getting a very lucrative client out of that deal.
Wow.
Not because of anything other than we just gave ourselves permission to talk to a complete stranger about nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like we're just, meanwhile, my wife on my side and her boyfriend on the other are like looking at us like, oh, will you guys shut up and watch the fucking game already? Jesus Christ. Like you guys are just chatting up. And then she's like, oh, and one other thing. And I'm like saying the same. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I can't, that happens to me as a rule, not an exception. Like, oh, everywhere I go, all over the world, that happens to me. Like I pick up friends like nobody's been, it's everywhere.
So Matt, do you think our hearts are telepathic?
I think in a way you're not. That's, I've never heard it phrased like that, but I think that's a cool way of describing it.
I really like that you put it in the heart, not the brain.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely not a brain thing. That's the thing.
No, it's definitely
I don't
not
think
a brain thing.
I wish people would know it's not a brain thing. That would change everything. I think it's a heart thing.
That's interesting. Yeah. No, that's a great point, man. That's a really cool point.
Perry's been talking Chinese medicine this whole fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it? That's the running joke, though. Isn't everybody always speaking Chinese medicine? They just don't know it.
Of course.
I mean, look, man, we have the expressions in English. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Well, the stomach is overthinking, worry, anxiety. That's the unbalanced emotion. So, of course.
Yeah.
I love the golden needle, Tom. You know, the golden needle is just that one needle that needs to be in the exact spot and everything changes. I love the golden needle. That's it.
I'm still trying to figure out that.
Yeah.
that is the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
otherwise it wouldn't be the golden needle.
Otherwise it wouldn't be the golden needle.
I think I got to get a sore ass from sitting in a cave for the next 20 years.
Right.
Probably.
Then I'll figure it out.
Or you end up being that guy. What was that movie, The Last Samurai or something, where he spends the whole movie trying to find the perfect cherry blossom, and as he's in the battlefield dying, he looks up, he goes, "They're all perfect," and it was like, and then he's dead.
I have a weird theory that Tom Cruise did that movie just because Japanese people tend to be shorter. And he didn't have to stand on a box. Ken Watanabe saved that fucking movie, man.
Yeah. That's funny. That is funny. So Perry,
the Scientologists are coming after us.
Yeah,
now.
that's it. Yeah. We've lost all of Scientology.
It's okay. Chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Bring it on.
So Perry, you got like 10,000 people plus or minus. Like what's going on there, man? Like, I mean, that's awesome. Like, what
the hell are we doing?
Yeah, what's going on?
It's the one. I have to think about that even. But the first thing we did was create a think tank. That was my dream. So you bring a bunch of weirdos together, and they're nonlinear thinkers, and they're all over the place. What happens if you ask them to solve a problem? And the first year of the Octopus Movement, I totally fucked up. I had no idea what I was doing. So we had these think tanks, and everybody came in, and everybody were talking, and there were no results at all. After a year, I did some design thinking, and I hired a design thinker consultant to come into the Octopus Movement to do a session with us. I hated it. I thought it was horrible. It felt like I was back at school. You know, the woman was done after 3 days. I don't know how long, but it was very long. And she said, you know, and what do you think? And she was all excited about it. And the group of people from the Octopus that were there in the test group, they were all being very polite. Yeah, it's very interesting. And it was my turn to say something. And there's the homeless dude coming out, and I was like, oh fuck, I hate it. I have to be creative. It has to be in a system. I got so frustrated, nothing came out. And the whole purpose of this exercise is to bring out the creative flow, and nothing happened with me. So now I know what not to do. Thank you. And of course her ego was a bit upset with that, but I'm very grateful for her, because I was able to redesign what she did, and I created a 50-minute system for a think tank. So what we do is we get in 30, 40 people from all over the world, and for 50 minutes we're in a think tank. I create questions, there's music, there's pressure, and there's organized chaos, and it works wonders.
Sure.
And for the nonlinear brain and the neurodivergence and the weird people, that works. For the linear corporate minds that like to do things in a structured way, they freak out. It's like, what the hell is this? And also the questions are not sometimes directly linked to the topic or to the problem. I love to play with the input afterwards. So I have this big data sheet. I have 7 questions, 50 minutes. I get like 400 ideas packed into 50 minutes. And there are patterns in all these ideas. And then I start diving into that and looking for structures that are not obvious. And that helps to solve the problem. That helps to look differently at things. Because what's his name? He's saying that 98% of our thoughts are the same thoughts every day. Joe Dispenza. So I'm always laughing, when the corporate world is saying, okay, we're doing a management meeting outside of the office, dress casually and on a Friday, and we hired a creative consultant and we're doing it, we're gonna solve this.
That's them thinking outside of the box.
They're thinking outside of the box. And it's trapped in the same fucking thoughts over and over, and nothing happens. And then you get a bunch of weirdos of the Octopus Movement. One is in Bangladesh, one is in India, a few in the States, in Europe. They have different backgrounds, different ideas. I ask questions. Within 15 minutes, we solve it.
This seems like the Fadiman experiment, the LSD experiment from the 60s, right? Where you get a bunch of hardcore linear thinkers, Nobel laureates, scientists, research people, and that are stuck on these quote unquote unsolvable problems. Pump them full of LSD for the weekend, and like 44 of them, like some, I forget the number, but like, let's say they had 45 problems, like 40 of them get solved within the first 12 hours or something, and like almost all of them were solved by the end of the weekend. Right. I think all but 1 or 2. Right. And, it's an interesting thing because everybody in the room was like, WTF, man. Like like nobody understood why that was happening. And certainly the more linear thinkers were very confused because they're like, no, you solve problems with academic rigor and hard work and, burning the oil, like you don't solve it by pumping yourself full of drugs, and Fadiman was like, well, apparently that's not
well, seems to work right here.
Seems that's not true.
But even that, once you break down the connection in the brain of this is how we channel things, right? I mean, that's essentially what you're doing with a group of people. You're a living LSD experiment.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was this new series, How the Brain Works or whatever, on Netflix, and I was watching it, and episode 1 is about LSD, and I was watching that with the founder of LSD, the guy in Switzerland, and explaining how it was working for him. And I was listening to that. I was like, yeah, that's normal to me.
Yeah,
what he's describing now. Shit. And I went into the Octopus Movement, made a post, have you seen that new Netflix series? What do you think? And I got several remarks of people in the Octopus Movement. Oh boy, I think I'm on LSD every day because that's how my brain works. I was like, you see, that's interesting.
Well, totally. And it's funny because I've had, a lot of experience with LSD, and like, I feel very similar. It's like, it doesn't really do anything to me except for make me more of what I already am. Like, it doesn't really alter anything.
Yeah.
But I know people that are, spreadsheet driven folks who do an experiment, and all of a sudden they're like very, I don't want to say terrified, but they're like almost scared. They're like, the feeling was great. But like, I just can't imagine being like that all the time. I'm like, really? Because I would think this would be awesome for you to get out of your fucking jail cell for 5 minutes.
I forgot who was saying it, but like infants, before we start to get that really hard routed neurological patterning in our brain, it's like they're walking around high all the time. Yeah, that's essentially what they're doing. NASA
did the research about that, right? When they wanted to go to the moon, they were looking for the most brilliant creative minds, and then research showed that 98% of the 2 to 5 year olds were creatively brilliant, and from the adults, only 2% are creatively brilliant.
Wow.
And those are the numbers. Very simple. Yeah.
And you think that's that hard patterning that happens after 5, that where people are like, no, you need to, have 2.5 kids and a
Of
and a
course.
college degree and a, and
With
got
so many things, and we're trapped in that. I don't mind, but I just like to live in a different way. And it doesn't mean that I live in this hippie house where everything is different. Not at all. And I embrace the linearity in life as well because I want to get shit done. So I'm not in a dress just saying everything is awesome. I'd like to find the balance, but it is fun when my kids come home and something happened and I give them an answer that is completely unexpected,
Sure.
not in line with what anyone else is saying. Like, yeah, that's also a way to look at it. I said, yeah, but why not?
I guess we could do that, Dad.
I'm always in a fight with the school of my kids. If
Oh my
there's
God,
a
don't
thing
get me
here in the
started.
household, it's like dad is going to school. Oh God.
Yeah.
And I still do that. I even went to a school with my 19-year-old. He's an adult, and something went terribly wrong there, in my opinion. And he's on the spectrum, and people don't understand that shit. And it upsets me. I cannot stand when it's not okay. I can't stand it when it's not fair that something happens. I always say something. And so I just went to school for my son. And and the lady there was like, but he's 19. I was like, yeah, and I have a meeting with you and I'm 50 and you're probably 58. Let's talk.
Yeah.
And
now that we've cleared out everybody's age,
now that we've gotten the linear timeline.
What the fuck?
But it's funny. If you were to have said that, if you had said, okay, great, now we know everybody's age, let's move on. Everyone looks at you kind of like, well, I've never heard that before, but he's also not wrong. So I guess all that's left is that we start our conversation. It's almost like people are like, you can see them processing it and they're like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to talk.
I have a big dream, Matt. My biggest dream with the Octopus Movement is the following, and it's so simple. I want to pause linearity. I want to be able to pause anything that's linear when necessary. So something goes wrong at school. One of the kids is not doing okay, and it's not working. Then pause the fucking system, organize whatever it needs to organize for the kid to make sure that that child is okay again and can learn and is happy. And then you reactivate the linear system again because there's nothing wrong with that on a whole. It's just reorganize it and start it again. It's so simple, but we're not doing that. And this is what I'm explaining when I go to school or when I have a conversation with the government or a big company. Is like, how easy it would be to just say, okay, let's pause this. Because when someone says, this is how it works, I can't do anything, I want to smack them in the face.
Sure. That makes me crazy.
I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Like, no, sorry, that's how we operate. I said, yeah, so what? You can, but I wear a blue shirt every day. Wear a yellow shirt. You can do it. There's not a law in nature that prevents you from wearing a yellow shirt. And of course, it's the system of the school to do it that way. But that kid is in pain. You need to do something. Where is your sense of urgency where you take the responsibility for that as a teacher?
None.
Or anywhere else. It's so simple. And if we create the language like, okay, I'm going to pause the system for you. Let's figure it out. When it works again, we reactivate. We use that language. Everybody understands.
Sure. No, you're right. That's crystal clear.
And then people are saying to me, yeah, Perry, but if we start doing that for everyone, then then say, yeah, then you need to change the system because then there's something fucking wrong with how you do it right now.
Yeah, but that neuroflexibility that you're talking about, I think neurodivergent folks in general have the capacity to toggle this already, right? Like, we can say, okay, we need to get highly nonlinear right now because this problem needs different solution than what's here, right? You might not know, you probably don't know what's wrong with it necessarily, but you do know that there's a problem.
Do you know why they are able to do that?
No.
Which is so interesting. I've read research papers about it, and the concept is so simple. when you have a neurodivergent mind, whatever that may be, right? So it means you're not standard in what you do, in how you read and write or think or process information. It comes down to being weird. So if you're weird,
was that what the journal actually called it? Was that the medical diagnosis?
Find out if you're weird.
What was the code associated with that diagnosis?
No, I will send it to you.
I would love to see that.
I would love
to.
Do
I have it here? I don't have it here, but it's the Economic Institute for. It's very serious, and it's about nonlinear thinking, really, because I have all these Google alerts for linear thinking. If someone farts nonlinear thinking, I will get it.
You get 10 messages.
So I got that paper, and it's because we're so trained that we're weird, we're constantly thinking, what's wrong with me? That means we're constantly in a conversation with ourselves. Am I doing this right or wrong or whatever? That means that you're comfortable in having a conversation with your own mind. Linear folks, tight underwear folks, sorry guys, they have a little bit of an issue going there. They are afraid of their own thinking. So if you are afraid of your own thinking, not knowing what you will do when you lose everything and you get into a panic attack, then you get everything tight. And what do you do then? You make sure you're in control. So you want to know what's happening this week, next month, next year. You want to organize things because that conversation with yourself, like, but when this happens, I will organize it. It's going to be okay. They can't do that. So there's this level of fear within their own thinking. And that's very linear. And that's why they like to be in a system where they have control of everything, and they find it difficult to be in chaos and use chaos to create something in a creative way.
Wow, that sounds like Doug Brackman was talking about. Like 85% of the population can't handle the driven folks because they don't.
No,
we're like, let's go see what's over there, but something could kill us.
Yeah.
Something could kill us. Boredom. Like let's go. Yeah. And you're like, that seems dumb. No, that's scary. Or they fall in line. They toe the line when someone's authoritarian to them. Right? Why? Because that person's telling me what to do.
Tom, they have been trained since a little kid because they're different. And they have been always in conversation with themselves. Like, what is
I love how you call them different. Yeah. They're different, not us.
They're so different. Yeah. We're pretty normal, the three of us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the funny thing is that even this conversation right now, I have new vocabulary to describe that because I've never admitted this to anybody else, but I think it's pretty appropriate here. When I go on walks around my neighborhood, I started putting an AirPod in to make it so that people thought I was on a call instead of talking.
And you're not?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I've gotten out of my car with the phone up to my head going, yeah. Because I see a neighbor outside and I'm like, if I have one more fucking conversation about the humidity.
Oh, no. No. Mine wasn't to avoid conversation with other people. Mine was to mask the fact that I was having a full conversation with myself.
Oh, you were talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Correct. And I didn't want people to think I was weird because how I process complex thought is out loud.
That makes sense.
I have to hear myself saying it in order to make sure it's rational. And so like a lot of times, like I'll just sit there in the shower or whatever, and I'll be like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And I'll work through something, but like, and now it's nicer outside. I'm walking around a lot more outside and I'm like, people are going to think I'm fucking nuts. So I just threw an AirPod in.
Matt has a lot of friends on the phone always.
Always. Look, man, I'm sitting in the car. My wife gets car sick. So she almost always drives and then bitches about me commenting on her driving, but I'll be sitting there in my own thoughts going, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck are you, like, what?
What are you mumbling
like, what
about
are you talking about? I'm like, I'm just working something out.
Yeah.
Or like my daughter will look at me. She goes, your mouth is moving, but no words are coming out. I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. That's just how it has to happen.
That's just me talking with me. It's cool.
I don't know how it is with you guys, but if I really want to listen to someone, I need to do something else. So I love to start writing and like, oh, you're really paying attention. Yes, I'm really listening.
I made it through grad school with a coloring book.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah. That's crazy. So you just had to color to learn shit?
I bought one of those like adult coloring books. It was
Sure.
mandalas or something. And, but you ask me a question and I can answer it.
Sure.
A lot of it, especially in the realm of East Asian medicine, it kind of just went, I mean, it was a weird group of people to begin with. And even my teachers are like, look, he's getting an A. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, keep me out of trouble. I wasn't back talking or making jokes or distracting other people. I was kind of in my own little world.
We're doing, I want to use the opportunity with so many people listening to you, where we're talking about the think tank. We're involved with a global project, which is crazy. It's a $40 billion project that the Octopus Movement is the nonlinear brain for.
Wow.
And we're looking for an international law specialist who is not linear. That's, so we have a team of specialists. This is about the oceans and I can't say anything, it's stealth mode, you know how that works.
Sure.
But it's so cool. And we've created a team of people all over the world with so much capacity and thinking, and they're all nonlinear thinkers. They're all a bit different, but highly successful within their field. But lawyers that, nonlinear lawyers, I still, maybe you know them, but I still have to find a global law specialist that is pretty nonlinear and say, okay, what you guys are doing is absolutely awesome. That's what we do with the Octopus Movement. We find people, we connect, and we do crazy shit together.
I would love to see that LinkedIn post.
Yeah, I should do that.
We're hiring.
Yeah.
We're hiring.
Where are you?
Where are you?
Yeah, that's funny. And so like that was leading up to, that was a perfect tee into another question I was going to have, is like, it seems to me, and you're verifying it, so I almost don't have to ask the question, but it seems to me like if you put enough of these people in a room, you now have a superpower. You can solve weird fucking problems all day long.
Yeah.
Like really weird problems.
I mean, it feels like AI.
Better.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
That's why we're creating the humanmycelium.com. It's a platform where it's based on artificial intelligence, human intelligence, and community. Now, I don't like the word community. I always use human mycelium, but to explain how the elements come together. And it has one simple question: what do you need? And you fill in what you need, and then AI, human intelligence, and community start working. It's like a LinkedIn on cocaine. It's what we do within the Octopus Movement, but I want it to be available for everyone, not just for people in the Octopus Movement. And I want it to be available in a way where you can just sit behind your phone or your laptop and you just type in, I really want to write a book, but I want a ghostwriter, but I can't pay $25,000 or even more for a ghostwriter. How do I do this? And of course you can ask ChatGPT and get a wonderful question and it creates steps and it's like awesome, right? I love AI because it's my linear system. It's what I don't have. I have a lot of creativity. Like, okay, how do we break this down? Give it to AI. But if I need a ghostwriter that I cannot afford, then AI is not going to give me the answer. No. It will say how I can find it, but it's not finding it for me. So if you combine this AI and human intelligence and community together, then it works. Then it's like, okay, you need that structure. By the way, I know this person who can help with that. Let me introduce you to that. Oh, by the way, when we're creating this, let me create this flow. We can send that to this person. And what we're just doing in the Octopus Movement, but then into a platform. And that's the superpower, the global nonlinear brain that we have, that we're really using now, Matt, where I also know some other some founders of communities that are saying, when that's ready, we're joining you. We want to bring our community onto your platform. And that's going to be awesome because that's really the human mycelium. Then we're connecting all the dots. And on that platform, the ownership lies with all the users of the platform, of course. It's impossible to create a human mycelium with the central ownership.
Sure.
That's impossible for me. that doesn't work that way.
Well,
And
it
it's
sort
never
of removes the authenticity of the idea, right? The authentic underpinning of that entire process is negated if you have an owner, right? Like if it's, but you know what? You hit on something that I'm glad you did, and I'm glad I'm not the only one. Another validation that I'm not crazy is that, you know, I had this morning, like literally 2 hours ago, I had this call where people were like, hey, what AI tool can we use to do this whole thing for us? I said, zero, none. They're like, but you're the AI expert. I said, which is why I'm telling you that doesn't exist. And they're like, well, why? I said, because AI is the tool that creatives and nonlinear thinkers have been waiting for their whole life, right? It allows them, and I love your vocabulary on this. It's your linear system, right? Like, and I've never used those words. I'm going to totally steal that from you though, because that's an amazing way of writing it. Because it is. When I want to be like batshit crazy, but I need a specific answer, AI is the fucking best thing ever invented. It's amazing. And then I could take that ingredient and put it into this weird soup I'm making, right? But like I would, you know, that would take me, that momentum would be completely deflated if I had to sit there and do 68 Google searches to get that same answer, right? Like that just wouldn't happen. So I said, you know what? The only way to get to where you guys want to do, and I'm helping this client get to a very difficult place, I said, is you need AI, you need people. Then you need more AI, then you need more people. Like that's it. That's the answer. Full stop. Like, you know, and they don't understand this. Like I think people still, to all the recurring theme of this, people are conditioned that there is an answer, a singular answer that's going to be the
Well, you know what still
answer.
upsets me is so many people are using it as Google.
Yeah.
Like it's like you just ask it, what is this? You didn't give it any, like you gotta explain what's going on in your head to it and let it get the whole you know, enormity
Tom,
of it.
This is wonderful for humans like us.
Totally.
Because
absolutely.
we have been in how do you call that, in the whatever, in a dark place. You know, people are ignoring us and like, oh, this is a bit too weird. But now everything is going to change because, you know, the orchestrated linear world that we're so fond of outdid itself by creating a system that can outthink us in that linear way, which is, I'm so grateful for that. So they made the whole linear approach totally irrelevant with this. and for us,
you've gone so linear, you've broken linear.
You've been linear.
Isn't that cool? So all the creative misfits, all the rebels, all the different thinkers are going to be so freaking fucking happy.
Yeah.
Because that's what the world needs now, not the educated, linear, tight underwear thinker.
No.
Because that's called ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not looking for that one. We're looking for Matt and we're looking for Tom, who have different ideas that AI never can create by itself, and then combine that and create something awesome. So I'm just super excited. We even created now a AI services company with the Octopus Movement, where we use the nonlinear brain we have to create AI solutions from a nonlinear perspective. Because I've seen too many companies also like, what do we need to do with AI? Okay, let's you know, use AI to do this system, and they're missing the point. They don't see the real opportunity that is there. And in combination with the nonlinear brain, like what you're doing, Matt, that combination is worth a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And it creates so many opportunities.
And you know what I like about the financial component of it is it creates freedom to be even more nonlinear, right? And that's that's really, I mean, unfortunately, that's the part about money that I can't decouple from myself, because it's not that I'm obsessed with the money part. I'm obsessed with the freedom to be creative part. And like sometimes freedom to create means you have to go buy something very expensive, like a piece of equipment or, you know, or a software or something, right? And like, you can't really do that homeless in the woods. Like you can do other things different homeless in the woods, but you can't do that. You can't go buy a quantum computer when you're homeless in the woods, right? Like you just can't, right? So anything involving a quantum computer is just out of bounds if you're homeless in the woods. Now, I'm not saying you need things to be creative, but like it does open up new possibilities, new opportunities, and that's unfortunately requires.
And if we can then use that to solve some issues in the world, like there's hunger, really, in today's world, should we have that?
No.
Homelessness by itself, of course, I'm fascinated by that. Like, what are we doing? It's really not necessary. This can be solved. Leadership issues, education. Everybody's talking at education, and we need to change the educational system. Well, that's happening right now thanks to AI, and I'm curious what will happen with the educational system, because that was really from the Stone Age.
Bill Gates says the two top professions that are gone with AI: doctors and teachers.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like, that's fascinating, because those are two of the things that you would think would never be,
it would never go away.
You know, like if you asked
and
1,000 people.
And it will never go away. It will never go. You need to have that
physical
human
person.
intelligence.
No, I don't. Yeah, we've been saying the same thing. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
The way in which it's practiced, I think, will change.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, you don't need rote memorization to. You don't care what the middle name of George Washington was in the United States, whoever the first president of Netherlands was, or king.
We have a king.
Yeah, man. King of Netherlands.
We have a king.
I was correcting myself, but like, do you care what the first one's middle name was? No. How many brothers and sisters they had? No one cares, right?
And when I use a new system and I don't know what it is, how it works, I have my linear assistant, and I'm like, I want to do this. It's not working. What am I doing wrong? And it says like, oh, these are the steps you're missing. Here you go. So I can. Nothing is rocket science anymore. I can do everything.
Yeah.
It's wow.
It's remarkable how flat the world becomes when knowledge acquisition is frictionless, isn't it? Like, I mean, you're like, oh, there's
you said that very well.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, yeah, no, there's literally, I'm a world-class race car mechanic. I'm a heart surgeon. I'm a fucking physicist. Like, I can do whatever you want for the question that I need answered. That's it. I don't need to understand, what's going on. You just need an answer. Perry, dude, listen, man, this was fucking amazing.
A lot of fun, man.
I love,
thanks, guys.
Love you. This is a great conversation. Where do we send people? How do we get people excited about you? And
advertisement time. The octopusmovement.org. Everybody can find everything there. Become a member of the Octopus Movement is for free. People that really want to dive into the inner family and want to join Matt, become a founding member.
I feel like I'm being pressured here.
Tom, it's okay, Tom.
I'm broke, Perry. I haven't decided to walk away from everything yet.
Yeah.
I'm still toying with the concept.
You know what I bought, Tom, after we spoke? So I have a whole cupping set at home now. And I love it. It's
I sent you the
China,
book, right? I did send you the book.
Okay, I love it. And my girlfriend is like, I'm not doing that. This is weird. You need to be trained, and you need to be. I said, no, that's not what it is about. So now my daughter helps me suck these things on my back, and it feels.
You're
awesome.
like, honey, of course I'm a professional. I had a 20-minute conversation with Tom. I'm good.
The number one joke, of course, oddly, is like, oh, you've been hugging an octopus or something like that. Yeah. And I think it's so overdone. But how apropos for Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
To have suckers on his back.
Yes.
Yeah. It's too bad I have a hairy back. My back looks horrible. Otherwise, it would be a wonderful post on LinkedIn. Maybe I should just do it. Fuck it.
And just shave your back once. Get the suction cups.
Very weird conversation. The owner of the nail salon my wife and I used to get manicures at, I asked her to wax my back. And she goes, yeah. And she told me how much. I go, oh, that's not that much. And then she was breaking a sweat. She was we were there for an hour. I think she undercharged me.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was having a real hard time. But a pair of clippers, a little olive oil, you'd be good to go down the back.
I've did it once, front and back. Thought, okay, I need to look, old Tom Cruise here.
Yeah.
And It was a horrible feeling. It wasn't the pain. It was afterwards.
After, when it grows back in.
It grows back, and it also doesn't matter. So the octopusmovement.org, people can find me there.
That's funny.
People can book me for a chat on Pick My Brain. The link is on the Octopus Movement website as well. It's also for free, and we can hang out and we can discuss whatever you want to discuss. And on our community platform, people can join the think tanks, the book club, the film club, all the initiatives we're doing. And yes, it's a little bit chaotic. So
in all the most beautiful ways,
in the best ways possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Perry, awesome talking to you. We're definitely gonna have to have you back next time. I think we need to do an Octopi roundtable here sometime. We got so many cool people that I want to bring on the show in that group. It's almost like too much. It's like an overload, right? You're like, too many good people to talk to.
I think once we get our WhatsApp former guest list up, we're trying to get everybody in a community of our former guests. I think there's some great connections there.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Perry, don't go anywhere. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.